And still in the news, Kenya and the European Commission reached an agreement to carry out the Economic Partnership Agreement between the EU and the East African Community, which was initially agreed upon in October 2014. It will be implemented pending approval from their respective parliaments. Now, despite Kenya signing and ratifying the treaty in 2016, its implementation was delayed due to the other East African Community countries refusing to endorse it. Perpetua Fasanmi-Peter spoke to Economist and filed this report.
The European Union is the second party that Kenya has reached a deal with to bilaterally enforce the EAC-EU Pact after inking a similar arrangement with the UK in December 2020 before the latter left the EU bloc. Rwanda signed but did not ratify the Economic Partnership Agreement (EPA, while Tanzania and Uganda refused to approve the treaty for various economic and political reasons.
If the agreement was signed, then their country will be disadvantaged in terms of trade. So they will be importing more than they're exporting. I don't think the other East African countries are going to join this agreement just because Kenya signed. I think they have their fears. They have some issues they would want to be looked at before they sign this agreement.
The issue for the other countries in the East African community is that they felt uncomfortable around giving the Europeans free access to our markets. They feared dumping by the EU. Is to broaden out this agreement into an East African community-wide agreement at a later date.
Commenting on the choice of the other East African countries not to sign the agreement with the EU, Dr. Iraki opined that it would be in their best interest to sign the Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA.
European countries, the East African countries negotiated over this agreement. So whatever the content of these agreements was agreed by the two parties. So we cannot say that somebody brought this agreement and told them to sign. So because they negotiated, they agreed on the content, my advice would be they sign, that if there are any issues that come up, they can always resolve them amicably as they start trading with each other. Because I don't think the two regions are benefiting by not taking advantage of the trade that would help them create jobs, maybe import technology or bring some technology transfer, and make the East African region grow faster than it is growing now. Remember, now the East African community has 7 countries, and those 7 countries, most of them produce goods that are very similar. So unless they get a bigger market elsewhere, then trade among themselves might not be as big as expected.
The deal aims to counter China's influence while promoting developmental commitments between the EU and Kenya. Once ratified, the Kenya-EU Economic Partnership Agreement, finalized by both parties, will fully open the EU market for Kenyan products, except arms. Perpetua Fasanmi-Peter reporting for News Central.